Hi, this is Zubair here. I don't really record a video for a while just because busy with other things. So yeah, this is the, I won't say the auto bomber. I think a lot of people complain about it. They said, well, if you're gonna run around and have to cast something once in a while, it's not considered an auto bomber. And they're absolutely right. So I'm not gonna call it an auto bomber. This is just what I would consider a pretty fast mapper. And I'm just gonna record it as such. So let me check. Wait, I actually have to. Yeah, let me do this before I forget. As usual, blood and sands are like the best level. 7. Okay, only 1/7. Whatever. So basically, the build I have changed a bit. I've tweaked a bit. If you notice, I've literally no life and I've only ES. So this is I've changed it to a CI build rather than what I had was MUM, MOM, and EB MOM build, right? And to be honest, EB MOM is pretty much. I would say it's overall has higher EHP, but when it comes to survivability and tankability, I think this is a lot smoother than EBMOM. So CI is a lot better. I'll show you why I think CI is a lot better. And it's because of two mechanics that are very, very synergistic with this build. Okay. So the two mechanics that are very synergistic with this build is one, you're using Black Flame and Self-Ignite. So if you're going Black Flame Self-Ignite is going to do chaos damage to you. And obviously chaos damage to you is kind of rippy. So I got away with it in the previous iteration of the build by going cannot ignite setup, or unaffected by ignite setup. So the boots was it was unaffected by ignite, so I had no issues with that. So I ran around not taking damage because of that. So the problem, well, this is okay, but the problem is that I really want to use this, which is bubonic trail, and I couldn't because I was using that boot. So when I swap the CI, it allows me to go bubonic trail, and it basically allows me to use the boot slot and get the 24% increased reservation efficiency when affected by a unique abyss jewel. Of course, there's no good or unique abyss jewels that this build kind of uses, but at the same time, one more jewel count means you get 15% more physics extra. So it doesn't really matter what I put here. So I just bought a corrupting jewel version and put it there. So it pretty much just gives me corrupting blood immunity and then some dexterity, which I need because dexterity is something I have to solve. Still using Instrumentis. I haven't found a way to solve the problem of making up for the stat loss. I'm at this point. I'm already considering the fact that maybe I needed to get like the only upgrade for a millet would be like a Strangle Grasp Instrumentis version where you have Instrumentis but you have 4 annoyance. But that'll be extremely expensive and I don't think it's worth it. But whatever. Yeah. What else did I do? I had to divine this a bit. So what happened was that my cold was very close to my fire in terms of so I was doing like 20%, 26% cold and 80% fire, and I had very similar cold to fire, and the problem was because I have beacon, what's it called? A void beacon. It basically meant that most of the time I was going to do more cold damage than I did fire damage, which meant I wasn't getting 25% more damage on Shaper of Flames. So I had to divine this down, and I didn't expect how much it would bloody cost. It cost me like I think about 13 divines just to get it here, which is honestly a pain in the ass. But whatever. Fuck that. What else can I do? And I mean, I'm sitting on a lot of divines. It's not like I have nothing. Like I have anything better to use it for. So this 13 divines. Yeah. So the other reason why we CI. So now I have discipline, and I'm using basically triple defense auras, determination, grace, and discipline. It still doesn't feel tanky, which is a testament to how flimsy this build feels. Mostly because you're using a staff and not a shield. I think that's the reason why staff builds have kind of fallen off. You generally want to use a shield because a shield gives you so much defensive stats, gives you mechanics like, you know, Aegis Aurora, etc. The reason also I moved to this CI setup is because of this. So if you look at Light Poacher, normally, you know, when you use an ability, you trigger Spirit Burst. And Spirit Burst is a problem because you want to keep the charges up, but basically pressing any button will mean you lose your charges. So especially on bosses, when you very hard to keep the charges up, right? So this is a solution to that problem, and it's a solution problem in the sense that what you're doing here, so this tag was on, someone posted on Reddit, you put life tap and Archmage on this, and basically if you're CI, you can't cast it because it costs life and you have no life to cast this. So this allows you to disable the Light Poacher trigger, and when it disables the Light Poacher trigger, you basically will never use it. So you can keep an uptime of like 17, 18 charges indefinitely. So yeah, in that case, that's one kind of reason why CI is also very important here. CI not only gives you immunity to the self-ignite from Black Flames, it also gives you ability to disable Light Poacher's trigger. Yeah. What else is there? I've moved away from double curse. There is an overall damage drop, but it's not a DPS drop, so that's fine. So I've moved away from Whispers of Doom. I'm realizing this is very passive slot starved, passive point starved. You really want to path around everywhere, just mostly to get defenses, mostly to get energy shield. If I have like 4 more points, it's gonna go like here and get more ES. Or it's gonna go to somewhere here. Yeah. What are the changes? Okay, I did try Burden of Truth for a while on the EB mum build, but moved back to Darkness and Throne with CI. When I look at it, obviously I think, to be frank, if you put a Hit Hunter here, this build will be really good because you're gonna get a lot of stackable buffs, and Hit Hunter is like super strong considering the fact that this clears really fast. So yeah, Hit Hunter is something you consider if you really want to play this build. It's just basically a very fast mapper, but it's not tanky enough, and you know how it's not tanky enough when I'm running Portal and Cast on Death. I never run this on any setup, so then again, I told myself I really want to make this work, so even if I have to run Cast on Death Portal, I don't care, it's fine. Yeah, so I'm using Valkyries as well. The reason why I'm using Valkyries is that you get ability to use Onslaught on 20 seconds with Vaal skill, so you have a Vaal Rejuvenation Totem, which is amazing. Oh yeah, and Vaal Rejuvenation Totem with Zealot's Oath will basically give you ES regen, right? So this gives you 467 life per second. With this, it gives you 467 ES regen a second, and you always have the totems up because you're doing multiple totem support. You're probably having 3 totems up at any time, and whenever their totems trigger, you taunt, right? So it's tanky in the sense that if you're fighting a single mob or a boss, it's okay, but when they AoE and you don't dodge, you can't die. You can't really just stand in abilities. 4K pull is terrible at what, 75, like 75 res. It's not like amazing res. I gotta say though, the armor and the evasion looks pretty alright. If you Blast Floss, it goes to 34. If you run around, it's 52. 52 evasion, K evasion is pretty nice, but it has no suppression, right? So suppression cuts a lot of the incoming spell damage by half. Like a lot of the Vaal Temple, like we call it vessels, they do spell damage, and honestly, not having like suppression is an issue because suppression like will probably save this build. Like if I could get this node and then the lucky suppression, so it will be like maybe 70% suppression. That's, I think, actually that's maybe a decent play. That's something worth going for. But we'll have to see. I'm not too sure. It'll cost quite a bit of points, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm gonna need to cut stuff from here. Okay, let's talk about the tree. So because of it's a CI build, you want to path here and get CI nodes here. You get a socket here, You're not going here, you don't really need Mind Over Matter anymore. Here is great too because you can get this curse node. Instead of spending 5 points here, you can just spend 4. You do need the enemies you curse are hindered with 15% reduced movement speed. That's because enemies you curse, you don't get hinder from any other sources, and you need hinder to proc reduce damage. Yeah, so enemies do reduce damage over time. That's the only way to proc it. Actually, is it honestly that worth it? 1 point. I would say that reduced critical strikes, it's probably better, right? Because you can get 30 here and 70 here, and you get like a pretty sizable amount of crit reduction. Well, true. I don't know. Well, I have to think of this again. Maybe this point is not required, and I can move it elsewhere. Path here and get that's a good thing about doing a video, right? You get to re-examine all your design choices, and some of them might not be ideal. Okay, so path here, you get a cluster. You're still relying on 3 sets of clusters, all for percentage damage. All of them are widespread destruction and Sadist, because AoE is great for your explosions, and elemental damage is great for your bleed, for your poison, for your ignites. Sorry. CI here, you get aura effect, right? Because you're running triple defensive auras. The path here, you get Ghost Dance, you get Soul Thief. This is to get you quite a bit of ES generation on maps. 2% ES on kill is nice, and the Ghost Dance helps you because your evasion is so high. In part here you get sockets, so you already have 1, 2, 3, 4 sockets. You get the damage over time and duration nodes for fire here, and then you get physical damage converted to fire. The physical damage converted to fire is important because it helps you to basically always keep fire as your highest, right? As I explained for the Master Flame section. As I was explaining for Master Flame just now. You path here, you get reservation, so this is 12% reservation efficiency. Max mana is alright, I guess, but this is just 3 points for 12%, and that's not too bad. You path here, you get ES, right? And then you go here, sockets, trees, etc. Obviously, you want Fan the Flames as well, because there's no other Ignite Prolife elsewhere. Zealot regen from Rejuvenation Totem, you get it for your ES, that's great. Totem Life here, and the Totem Taunt. So Totem Taunt is exceptionally good, especially if you have something like multiple totem support. If you don't have multiple totem support, maybe the 30% extra summon totem would be great, but once you have multiple totem support, I don't think you need that 30%. I think you just get Taunt, and then you basically have a way to peel mobs off of you. If out here, you get the armor and the ES notables, and then you get this mastery, so 10% of physical damage from hits taken as chaos. Because you're CI, you basically just take 10% less physical damage, which is, I think, ideal. And then yeah, you go here, elemental damage as well. Effect of non-damaging element is great. 3% chance for hits to deal 300% of physical damage and an extra damage of random element. This is super good because 3% chance to do insane amounts of more damage is it's great for ignites, right? Because ignites, you only take the highest value. So yeah. Staff mastery. Okay, so you're getting block nodes here. This is for survivability. This gives you 6% and then 12%. So that is 12% spell and attack block. I think that it's worth it. Yeah, and then you get the 30% increased defenses. This affects your grace, your determination, and your ES. So I would get it for that reason. Part here, you get the armor and evasion nodes, armor and the energy shield nodes again, and then here sockets. Yeah. So all in all, this is pretty much how the build is, how the build looks like. When it comes to skill sockets, I've actually cut down a lot of skills. So down here will be there's Flame Dash here, but there's Enlighten support with all the auras. Obviously, you want Life Tap and Archmage here, and then you have the 4-link for your totems. So this is multiple totem support, Rejuvenation Totem, Trap support, and Divergent Cluster. Of course, Cast and Death bottle, unfortunately, and Withering Step. So Anonymous Withering Step gives you great amounts of movement speed because it gives you elusive. That helps your mapping. It also allows you to apply Wither, right? Since I've changed to an ES build, I've moved all the jewels away from life to ES, so it's 30 ES on average for each jewel. Resistances are fixed with jewels, and these also give me either evasion rating while moving, which I think is super strong, and either armor or evasion, right? Or shock or freeze immunity. I think this is what usually. I mean, most of the drills are pretty cheap. There's one or two like super expensive, but most of them are like really cheap. All in all, build is obviously a bit more expensive because of the stupid enlighten. Because of the enlighten, yeah. Actually, yeah. Other than the enlighten, the rest was pretty cheap. I think you can probably. I mean, okay, maybe the fulcrum is expensive. Yeah, fuck the fulcrum. It costs too much. So if you notice, I'm down to 70 divines. I actually owe 20 divines to a friend, so I'm actually minus 3 divines at the moment. But I'll show you what I bought. I'm not selling this actually. I'm just putting it up for fun because you never know if someone wants to pop two mirrors on this. But okay, so this is a red blade, right? With Explodey Totem, 600%, and a 50% double totem. Obviously not perfect 70%, but still, it's a one-hander, right? So you can use it with a shield. I am not sure if I want to play around this. I bought it because I figured, you know, this is the only time you're going to have it. If it probably goes to standard, at least you have a version of this on standard to play around with or to try new shit. So I will keep this probably, unless someone actually offers 2 mirrors, which I don't think is likely. And then, yeah, I might build around this. So, what I want to build around is maybe a Pathfinder, you know, like what everyone else is doing, except I want to make it like super uber tanky. Like, you know, Mahuzotls or what's that shield again? The Exarch shield, full fist, elemental conversion, yeah, those things. But yeah, you know, with a one-hander, you have the option of doing that, so that's probably what I'm gonna attempt. Yeah, all right, I'm just gonna do a map and then you'll die a couple of times and you'll see how squishy this shit is. Monsters have increased area, and you know, this is okay. So if it's a very close quarter map and there's what's it called? Did I finish? Oh, I finished already. Yeah. If this is a close quarter map and please not be, oh god, this dungeon. All right, so I'm gonna die a lot, and the reason being is because if you have Ice Nova, yeah, well. Wait, what? I really want a map that allows me to show it off the zoom, but oh god. This is what I would consider a map I would actually swap to my Dead-Eye to do. I think this is near impossible for this character, and it doesn't really help it. Like, cause the map's just not made for this. Too close quarters, not enough open spaces. Let's see how big this Ice Nova is. It's not that big. I promise I'll do another map that isn't so bad. This is like, of all the maps it could give me during a showcase, it gives me one that's close quarters and it's dungeon. Alright, like literally one of the worst map layouts possible. It's probably worse layout than a Vaal temple itself. Alright. But yeah, we'll just finish this and then. Okay. You can tell I have 17 charges up permanently. Almost near permanently actually. Okay, I'm gonna sell this actually. With any luck, I'll die at the same time, so I don't have to open a portal. I'm joking. Should be fine. Was it ambush scarabs? Ambush scarabs. Okay. I mean, I didn't bother to count. He gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, I should be right. I'll probably like start leveling on this character when I stop doing Vaal temples. Once I finish up all the Vaal temples, I'll probably think of another type of farming strategy. And then, yeah, you know, this paper thin character won't have to do like one of the hardest map farming strategy setups of all time. Well, it's not, you know, 100% delirium, but still, you know, yikes. Oh wait, it's the other way. Yeah, this map layout is terrible. Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, there's one death. I guess that's alright, I guess. Okay, let's do another one. I mean, I like to do whatever map, but I'm pretty sure if I did a whatever map and I died like 4 or 5 times, I'll get shit for it. So please, open map. Ah, yes, cemetery is an open map. Let's go. Man, I really love open maps. Holy crap. I have a tendency to click all the altars even though they're not beneficial, like that one. Alright. Yellows are the best, followed by blues. Can you imagine? This costs like so the yellows are like what, 8,000 for one divine, I think. You get like, if you have all yellows in that one map, you can get like 5 or 600, maybe even 800 juice. Okay, that is a map. I want to do another one actually. Yeah, I'll just do another one. Let's go for another one. See, 600 juice, not too bad. You can get like 1,000, 800 to 1,000 actually if you have all yellow plots. I think they're both bad. Okay, Castle Ruins is also a pretty open map. That's good. Okay, this is dead end probably. cleared. Nice. Oh, how's your hash round? Oh, yeah, oh no, sorry, yeah, sorry. What? Was that a bug or what? How did I lag back into it? No idea what caused that. I think I might have clicked too many boss altars. Alright, that's all there is to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna close this off. Bye. See ya.